Turkey, under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is engaged in a high-stakes gamble in Syria. This is not just a simple military operation. It is a complex and multifaceted endeavor that aims to reshape the region's geopolitical landscape. Their aim is not merely to secure their border or combat Kurdish militants. Instead, Turkey is looking to establish a long-term presence in Syria, one that extends its influence far beyond its own borders. Erdogan envisions a new order in Damascus, one where Turkish influence reigns supreme. This vision includes not only military dominance but also political and economic control, effectively turning parts of Syria into a Turkish protectorate. This ambition manifests in a calculated strategy to establish a parallel military and governance structure within Syria, effectively crafting a Turkish protectorate. Turkish troops are setting up bases, and Turkish officials are working to integrate local governance structures with their own. This ambition is fueled by a potent mix of pragmatism and opportunism. Erdogan and his advisors see an opportunity to fill the power vacuum left by the ongoing Syrian conflict and the withdrawal of American forces. Turkey recognizes the vacuum left by a fractured Syria and a distracted America. The chaos and instability in the region provide a unique opportunity for Turkey to assert its influence and reshape the geopolitical landscape in its favor. They see a chance to reshape the geopolitical landscape in their favor. This is not just about military might, it is also about economic influence, political alliances, and cultural integration. But this ambition is not without its risks. The region is a complex web of alliances and rivalries, and Turkey's actions could easily provoke a backlash from other regional powers or even global superpowers. Turkey walks a tightrope, seeking to project power without triggering a wider conflict with regional or global powers. Diplomatic efforts are in full swing to manage these risks, but the situation remains highly volatile. It's a delicate dance, requiring a deft touch and a keen understanding of the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that define the Syrian conflict. Erdogan's government must navigate these complexities carefully to avoid unintended consequences. The success or failure of Turkey's gambit will have profound implications for the future of the Middle East. If successful, it could establish Turkey as a dominant regional power, reshaping the political and economic landscape for years to come. It could usher in a new era of Turkish dominance, or ignite a conflagration with unforeseen consequences. The stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome remains uncertain, making this one of the most critical geopolitical maneuvers of our time. Central to Turkey's strategy is the calculated weakening of the Syrian Democratic Forces, the US-backed group leading the fight against ISIS. Turkey views the SDF, with its Kurdish core, as an extension of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, a group it deems a terrorist organization. To undermine the SDF, Turkey employs a network of allied Syrian militias effectively waging a proxy war. This indirect approach serves a dual purpose. It allows Turkey to inflict damage on the SDF without directly confronting American forces, thus avoiding a dangerous escalation with a superpower. Secondly, it enables Turkey to maintain a degree of plausible deniability, portraying its actions as support for Syrian opposition groups rather than outright aggression. Turkey is not averse to exploiting American missteps to further its agenda. Civilian casualties resulting from US airstrikes, a tragic reality of the Syrian conflict, are deftly leveraged by Turkish propaganda to undermine American credibility and sow discord between the US and its local allies. Each errant bomb, each unintended civilian death, becomes a potent weapon in Turkey's arsenal. They highlight these incidents, amplifying them through their media and diplomatic channels, casting the US as a reckless and unreliable partner. This narrative resonates with segments of the Syrian population, eroding support for the US-led coalition and bolstering the appeal of Turkey's alternative vision. Turkey's involvement in Syria extends beyond military operations. They are actively engaged in fortifying their border, establishing a buffer zone to stem the flow of refugees and prevent Kurdish forces from gaining a foothold. Intelligence gathering is another crucial facet of their strategy, with Turkish operatives working to cultivate assets and gather information within Syria. This multi-pronged approach reflects Turkey's understanding of the complexities of the Syrian conflict. It's not enough to simply project military power. They recognize the need to address the humanitarian crisis, secure their own borders, and develop a deep understanding of the constantly shifting dynamics on the ground. Section 5. A tangled web, U.S. resource control and Israeli security concerns. Adding another layer of complexity to the situation is the United States' control of key Syrian resources, including oil fields and agricultural land. This control gives the U.S. significant leverage but also fuels resentment and accusations of exploitation. Meanwhile, Israel, grappling with its own security concerns, views Turkey's growing influence with apprehension, fearing the emergence of a hostile power on its northern border. The convergence of these competing interests creates a volatile and unpredictable environment. The U.S., while wary of Turkish ambitions, also relies on Turkey as a NATO ally. Israel, seeking to contain Iranian influence in Syria, finds itself at odds with Turkey's own regional aspirations. Section 6. Strange Bedfellows, HTS, and the Turkish Agenda. Further complicating the picture is Turkey's relationship with groups like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, a powerful jihadist faction operating in northwestern Syria. This relationship is not straightforward and has layers of complexity that are often misunderstood. While officially designated as a terrorist organization by Turkey, HTS has benefited from Turkish support, albeit indirectly. This support comes in various forms, including logistical aid and a certain level of political backing, which has allowed HTS to maintain its stronghold in the region. This tactical alliance raises concerns about Turkey's true intentions and its willingness to align with extremist elements to achieve its objectives. Critics argue that Turkey's actions are driven by a desire to counter Kurdish forces and expand its influence in Syria. The relationship with HTS exemplifies the pragmatic, some might say cynical, nature of Turkish policy. This approach is seen as a way for Turkey to navigate the complex web of alliances and enmities in the Syrian conflict. They are willing to overlook ideological differences and align with unsavory actors if it serves their strategic interests. This has led to a situation where Turkey is both fighting terrorism and, paradoxically, supporting a group that many consider to be terrorists. This realpolitik approach, while effective in the short term, carries significant long-term risks, potentially strengthening extremist groups and undermining regional stability. The consequences of such a strategy could be far-reaching, affecting not just Syria but the broader Middle East. Section 7. Shifting Sands, the threat to American and Israeli interests. The United States and Israel view Turkey's assertive posture in Syria with growing alarm. The region, already a complex web of alliances and enmities, is further destabilized by Turkey's actions. They see Turkish actions, particularly the targeting of the SDF, as directly undermining their interests. The SDF, or Syrian Democratic Forces, have been a crucial ally in the fight against ISIS. The dismantling of the SDF, which has been instrumental in dismantling ISIS strongholds and maintaining a semblance of stability in the region, the most effective force in combating ISIS, poses a significant threat to the progress made over the years. This threatens to unravel years of American effort and investment. The U.S. has poured resources into training, equipping, and supporting the SDF. For Israel, the prospect of a Turkish-dominated Syria potentially harboring hostile actors is deeply concerning. The balance of power in the region could shift dramatically. This represents a significant security threat. Israel's northern borders could become more volatile, with increased risks of skirmishes and infiltration. The situation is further complicated by the potential for miscalculation. In such a tense environment, even a minor error can have catastrophic consequences. In the fog of war, where visibility is low and decisions must be made in split seconds, with multiple actors pursuing their own agendas, the risk of unintended escalation is ever present. Unintended escalation remains a constant danger. A stray shot, a miscommunication, or a misinterpreted move could spark a wider conflict, drawing in not just regional players but global powers as well. This could lead to a confrontation that no one wants, but everyone fears. The stakes are incredibly high and the margin for error is perilously thin. Section 8. Erdogan's Gambit, a calculated risk with unpredictable consequences. Erdogan's Syria strategy is a high-stakes gamble, a calculated risk with potentially far-reaching consequences. By skillfully exploiting the chaos of the Syrian civil war, Turkey has positioned itself as a major player in the region. However, this newfound influence comes at a price. Turkey's actions have alienated traditional allies, empowered extremist groups, and destabilized an already volatile region. The outcome of this gamble remains uncertain. Erdogan's ambition may yet be his undoing, dragging Turkey into a quagmire it cannot escape. Alternatively, his gamble may pay off, establishing Turkey as the dominant power in a reshaped Middle East. Only time will tell what the ultimate cost of Erdogan's gamble will be.